Do you know what the best sandwich is? Peanut butter and Nutella.
Why?
Goes together better than flat earthers and Down syndrome.
What the hell?
What is up, guys? Welcome back to Thought Cluster. It's your boy Grif.
And Luke.
Back at it again.
Hey, we didn't screw it up that time.
Now you screwed it up.
Oh, well, sorry.
I like how genuinely I got pissed off there for like half
Now
a
you
second.
did.
All right, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. 98.5 The Mix with Damien Dark and Dr. Dre. Peace out. No. All right. So
I flipped off the camera.
Okay, if you watched last week's episode, we are going to do what Luke talked about. We're going to do a personality test. Well, actually, we already took them.
We already took the personality test. We're going to talk about our personalities.
And we took
Compare and
different.
contrast.
We took different personality tests. I took one that I liked, and he took one that he liked.
Right. Preferably.
Yeah, so we're kind of already cheating the results, but fuck it. I used an app, and he used a website. And
Well,
I guess
mean, it's just compare and contrasting, so
Yeah,
I guess it's not that big of a deal.
one thing I wanted to get into, and this is like something that This is something I feel like no one's talked about this, but I feel like it's so like out there and
Bring
obvious.
her in.
I'm gonna
Lasso doggy.
I'm gonna pull that fucker
Pull her in. Let's talk about that.
Apparently I can't slurp anymore.
Yeah, no slurpage.
Okay, sorry. But I like to slurp because it tastes better, I feel like. That was hard. That was
good.
genuinely really hard
Was
to
it
do.
really?
That was actually hard. Like I had to think
But
about
look,
that.
like, okay, so it's easy to slurp with a can. I'm not going to do it, but it's easy. But watch this. You ready?
See, I have to think about not slurping.
It took me a really long time to not slurp.
That's fucking hard. Anyway, so the topic, that's not the main discussion. My main discussion is how much is a parent's influence on their child, like, actually there?
What do you mean?
Well,
Let's elaborate on that.
Why don't we should make a podcast where we just, like, explore questions.
I mean, that's what the podcast
We could call it
Thought Cluster.
No, that's fucking stupid. All right,
so
so
we'll just do, what was my idea earlier?
ass podcast something.
A half-ass podcast.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to make a podcast called Half-Ass Podcast, we will fully endorse you in everything you say.
Give you the rights.
Even if you're a total like terrible person who just like hates Asian people, we'll still totally endorse you because that's our name.
Yeah, that's our name.
Anything you say, even if you blow up a doghouse, we'll still support you.
100%.
None of that was true. Please don't sue us if anything happens. Okay, god damn it. Okay, so how much influence do parents actually have on their kids? I feel like I'm at a TEDx. How much influence does a parent have on its child? And the reason I bring this up, are you going to sneeze again?
No, I was burping.
Thank fucking God. When this guy sneezes, tidal waves start. And the only reason I bring this up is because I was looking back at my childhood. No, but like I was looking at my personality. Not necessarily while I was taking the test, but like just over life, I guess. And it doesn't always interlock with like my parents, because like I have a lot of different viewpoints and a lot of different ways that I think that aren't like my parents, obviously, right?
Right.
So if I hadn't watched people like Tobuscus or Meatwagon 22 or Good Mythical Morning, I wouldn't be, or even like Cody Ko here recently, or like Ryan Trahan, or the people that I watch now, because they're all people that are like more open-minded and more like aware of like making fun of themselves and stuff like that. And I wouldn't have had that had I not grown up with people like, especially Tobuscus and Meatwagon, because it was like the first people I watched. And obviously, I don't even know those people. And I still take a lot of, like, I guess, advice from people like Demolition Ranch, Matt Carricker. He's a very inspirational person. Mm-hmm. But, like, my parents, how much influence did they actually have on me? Obviously, they raised me, and so I'm not trying to, like, discredit all that, but you know what I'm saying? It's kind of interesting.
And, like, for me, I think that not necessarily my mom in specific had a lot to do with my upbringing, I guess. But my dad... I mean,
it's not like she birthed you.
No, yeah, I know that. But I'm just saying, like...
There's a stork.
Yeah.
Is that what they call it?
What?
A stork?
What are you talking about?
The bird.
Oh, yeah, that brings the babies.
Is it a stork?
I don't know.
That doesn't sound right.
Maybe.
I don't
know. I don't know. I haven't come to terms with that, I guess.
You haven't come to terms with that?
I'm not a believer.
There's a... No, I don't think... Yeah. I think we came from the sky. I don't think it
just drops down. It's like a fucking baby. You're just immune to fall damage.
You're immune to fall damage for 15 seconds of the first little bit of your life.
No, but anyways.
Why don't you elaborate on your previous point there?
So let me my elaboration on my previous point that I just made here in this PowerPoint.
Statement.
In the statement that I've suggested. I feel like that me and my dad, since we have like kind of more, I don't know, like similar personalities, him and I like more connected together, and like he taught me a bunch of things as I was growing up, and of course my mom taught me lessons and whatnot, but I just view the ones that I learned with my father a little more like life important.
But you know what I'm saying? Do you think you took a lot of like influence from?
Oh yeah,
okay,
definitely a
so
lot from my parents.
No, I'm not saying your parents. I'm saying okay. So you think more from your parents than influencers?
Yeah.
Really?
But the thing is the way that I look at like influences on my life is what I'll do.
I'm talking about influencer like YouTubers and like public figures.
Right, exactly. Okay. Well, that and not necessarily just that as well. Of course,
that's my category that I was talking about. But so yeah, I get what you're saying.
With like public people and like that. So with Meatwagon and Guns, like they were all like. They were just fun. They had jokes and all that kind of stuff.
We've probably said it before, but they're gamer YouTubers.
Yeah, they like game a lot, and we used to watch them. Like,
yeah, we used to watch them all the time.
So like Meaty and Guns, they make a lot of jokes and they joke around a lot, but like
they're wholesome.
Yeah, I learned from them how to be like wholesome and like jokingly and like fun. But I also realized that they're not being very serious right now, and at some point they need to be. So I'm gonna be serious at some point. You know, I take what they do. And I take what I want, and then I also leave what I don't need.
Yeah.
And a lot with, like, my parents and, like, other people that I see in my life.
Because they're pretty, like, kid-friendly. Like, they're very, very kid-friendly. They really are. And, like, that's just how they are in, like, their normal life, too. And they've even talked about that. Like, they don't purposely censor themselves. That's just how they are.
Smells just south of ass.
That's from one of their Can We Survive episodes.
Oh, my gosh.
So good, so good. But yeah, I get what you're saying, because, like, you take the stuff that, like, appeals to you, like, oh, yeah, I guess I shouldn't be a fucking asshole.
Right, exactly.
But, like, I don't want to be that kid-friendly, because, like, I'm not the most kid-friendly person.
Exactly.
Flashback to our previous video. 8-inch dick. 18 naked cowboys.
18 naked cowboys in the showers at Ram Ranch.
Because in my life, I think I take the most influence from, I mean, yes, my parents, but, like, a lot of it is from influencers out in the world. And, like, I feel like younger generations didn't have that. Like, obviously there's stuff on the old telly and shit like that, but, like, they didn't have the access. Like, I've probably seen more videos now, like, at this point in my life, than maybe even my mom has in her entire life. I don't know about my dad because he watched a lot of movies, but my mom, she doesn't do that. She doesn't, like, take inspiration from those people. She had her parents and, like, people around her, right? Because she grew up in small town Wisconsin. Not really, but she grew up in a small town. Not a lot of people there, so like she had to take influence from the people that surround her, not like Dan Reynolds out in fucking Costa Rica,
right.
fucking jamming out, right?
Wait, does he really live in Costa Rica?
Dan Reynolds?
Yeah.
No, he lives in LA, but I'm just saying like tour stuff. I don't even think they've been to Costa Rica. That's just where I thought.
Oh, by the way, do you remember? Okay, so you know Gus Johnson, right?
Yeah.
Of course you do. You told me about him. I've been asked that question so many times. You know Gus Johnson, right?
I found him like a month ago, and like I just can't stop talking about him.
But
I love
like
the guy.
The Godless Country video, I rewatched that the other night, and my favorite part is when he's like talking about like the about how his mom is not his editor or whatever, and she's like telling him how much he needs to cut out of the video, and he goes in 1 Thessalonians. It says, "Blessed be the dudes that don't stand up to their mom's bullshit anymore." 1 Thessalonians, blessed be the dudes.
But like even from Gus
Johnson.
Johnson,
that was like super off topic, but I guess it kind of does.
No, I mean it kind of relates though, because like even Gus Johnson, who like I just started watching, like that's actually a pretty good example. Because just with like in the month of watching him, I've kind of rethought the way that I even think about my videos. Like the videos that I'm coming out with here, like in the next little bit, are kind of inspired by him. Like the one that you know about, but you don't know. I'm not going to talk about. But like that kind of stuff is inspired by him because it's like, oh, he's doing that. Why don't I try that?
Right.
So I mean, obviously my own little rendition, but like, it's interesting how much I guess I never really understood how much inspiration I took from people that I don't even fucking know. Mm-hmm. Like Tobuscus, I didn't know who he was, but like I took a lot of inspiration from him, and he kind of turned out to be kind of a dirtbag.
Yeah, because then he ended up cheating.
Yeah, well, and like the whole drug thing or whatever. But like my comedy back then, and I think I talked about this in a recent video. on my channel of just like old videos that I had on my phone, and a lot of them I was mimicking Tobuscus. Like it was very clearly that's what I was doing because like that's all that was in my head.
I remember like your app review and all that kind of stuff.
I was 100% trying to be him because it's like I guess that was before I realized like okay, I can take stuff, from his personality and build mine, but like I didn't know how to do that. So I just took his entire personality and tried to make it my own.
That's exactly what I was talking about.
And that's where
earlier.
cancer comes from.
Yeah. So in your brain, no, but like
Matt
that's
Pat
exactly
comes out. But I think that's interesting.
Yeah. So like exactly. So you pick and pull from different people that you see and like experience stuff from. But even in real life and from watching them do different things. And just like, sorry, I almost hit the mic. That's why I exaggerated. But
yeah, don't. That's how people get hurt.
But anyway, so like doing that kind of stuff and like picking and pulling from different people and like I pick and pull from my parents. I pick and pull from like public figures. And that's the way to do it. I pick and pull from like my sister and like all the other people and like friends and stuff like that. And I like push away the shit that I don't want to do and like all the stuff that I realize isn't good.
Do you remember what we talked about last episode? What makes you you?
Yeah.
That right there is what makes you you. Picking and pulling from separate, just everybody you've ever met. Because everyone you've ever met, you've taken something from them.
Right, exactly. Whether you ask
them
or not.
And you build your personality. And that's why you're so fucking different than me. Well, besides like,
physically taking.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
But yeah,
like
you,
mentally.
Yeah. Like you and
like
I,
we've built off each other as well. Because like I wouldn't be who I am, and neither would you be you
if we wouldn't have taken stuff from each other.
Yeah. Like our asses. No, but like, something to think about.
Yeah. It's yeah, I agree.
Hadn't really thought about that. So I wonder if progressing through the years, if
you eventually like change yourself.
Well, if like kids are gonna only really take, if their main like source of like influence is gonna be from other influencers. Because I mean, I know that usually younger kids are very, very influential. And that's why, like, Logan Paul is doing so well, because he just is manipulating these kids.
And Jake Paul.
Yeah, those fuckers. Those butt fuckers. But even as an 18-year-old kid, as well as you, a 17-year-old, John,
right?
We're still pretty impressionable, I'd say. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no doubt.
And I think
we're like a piece of, like, fucking lava clay just sitting there, and somebody's been beating the fuck out of us.
I think we've already been sculpted into something. Like, I don't see myself completely changing.
We're a finger.
But us being who we are, I think both of us are pretty open-minded, so I think we're going to change no matter what. Like, I can accept other ideas, but it doesn't mean that I
necessarily need to.
Like, I know what's right and what's wrong. Like, if you're a flat earther, you're not right, okay? I'm sorry. No, I'm not. Vaccinate your kids. And then this is another one, and this will be a good segue. Well, I guess that was kind of a good segue into the personality test, but fuck it. Here's another one. Do you have to be attracted to your friends?
What do you mean?
Like, okay, I know we talked about this a couple episodes ago.
Physically or like mentally?
Hang on. Well, obviously mentally. Like, I feel like that's pretty clear. Because I couldn't put up with you if you're, fucking
ugly as shit.
Dick. But I'm talking about physically, yes. Because we talked about this a couple episodes ago. Like, appearance does matter. Like, there is some level of appearance. I mean, that's what Tinder's built around.
Right.
You see someone, or even if you're in a bar setting. I think I used this a couple episodes ago. That example. Of like, if you're in a bar and you see, this is like a pretty fucking basic example, but
you
like
see like a pretty girl,
see a pretty girl and you walk up to her and you talk to her. You're not gonna see someone, and it's not that she's necessarily ugly. It's just not your type. It doesn't click in your brain of like, yeah, I want to put my salami in her bread.
Salami in her bread.
So I do think that appearance does matter,
right,
to some extent, right?
Of course.
Fuck. What was my? Oh yeah. So does that mean that? Like, if you didn't dress the way that you do, like, you take care of yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're pretty good. No, but you take care of yourself. So would I have never, like, talked to you? Well, obviously we met in, like, we would have met either way.
In a relative
but
setting.
Would we have kept talking? Because, like, this is kind of weird. It's not weird. I consider you a pretty good-looking dude.
No, I appreciate that. I think the same.
And
I know where you're coming from, like, as of a lifestyle match, really.
Yeah, we are pretty similar in, like, our lifestyles, I would say.
And, like, self-care. And I know what you mean. So, like, there was this kid that was in my Boy Scout troop when I was in Boy Scouts. His name is Jeffrey. I don't know where he is.
He's name drop?
Yeah, I mean, he's long gone. I don't know where the fuck he's at.
He's in a ditch.
I don't know where he's at. But he was not necessarily the kind of kid that always took care of himself all the time and whatnot. And I remember we would always have meets at different people's houses. And I remember one time we went over to his house.
Like meat?
Yeah, like meat.
Meet up.
like meet up, like
I thought you
or
meant
Boy
like
Scout
cold
troop.
cut.
No, like meet. You know, I'd have meet. No, no, we'd have like meetups with our troop or whatever. Dude,
I don't know if I've been slurping, and if I do, I generally apologize because someone said that they don't like me slurping. I generally do fucking apologize, but at the same time, it's in my fucking head. Like, it's weird for me not to slurp.
yeah, it's fine. But it's fine. It's fine. But
I don't even want to drink it.
but
I'm just gonna stop eating.
Okay, so I went over to his house for
sorry.
like a Boy Scout meet or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just like
Social meet, not
it wasn't really comfortable. Like it wasn't like I wasn't comfortable.
just a weird.
Yeah.
Like they didn't take care of themselves.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. And I have people like that I know that are like that.
And I don't judge people completely on how they take care of themselves.
Right.
But like it's a big factor.
And I know that like everybody lives their life different, but I feel like there is a standard. You know what I'm saying? Like cut your hair.
Right. Like
clean the asshole.
If you think that like you're gonna go out with a girl or like ask a girl out and you just like sleep and like wear the same clothes to school every single day, then it's like you're probably not gonna succeed with what you're trying to do.
At a lower financial state, that's a little different, I think. But even people like that, they're gonna try and take care of themselves.
Right, exactly.
And
like,
they want to take care of themselves, but they don't have the
sense.
money.
Yeah,
that's
there's
different.
a sense.
That's totally different. We're not saying that.
Yeah, there's a sense of wanting to take care of yourself rather than getting able or being able to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you want to take care of yourself, yet you're physically not able to take care of yourself, you're going to find a way to make yourself
or even financially not able.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or you're going to find a way to like make yourself physically look better.
You're going to do what you can. And
right,
I think
exactly.
that's not what we're saying.
You're going to find a way.
We're saying you're able...
Whether it's able to just, like, you wake up in the morning and yet you don't have a certain pair of clothes to wear every day, but you take the time to make your hair look nice, or you brush your teeth, or whatever. Like, that if you can't...
You put an effort in.
Right, exactly.
Because for the most part, you don't get dressed in the morning for yourself. You do it for other people. Now, granted, we all look a little kawaii in the morning, you know, every once in a while.
Yeah.
But, like, you do it for other people because you want to be presentable, right?
Exactly.
Now, there's people out there who are just like, well, I don't give a fuck about anything. And I'm one of those people who's generally, I just don't give a fuck. And especially you. You generally just don't give a fuck. But at the same time, there's still a standard. And you still want to be like, okay, let me make sure
so, like, this is the weirdest thing. So, you know how when we were talking about our hair?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the other day, I was, like, sitting on the bus, and I sat there, and I was, like, doing this, and, like, there was a breeze, like, coming in, and it blew my hair, like, up like this.
Mm-hmm.
And, it did, like, this weird thing where just this part, like, right here was just up, like, completely. And it looked so nice and so clean. I was like, I'm going to fall asleep on my back tonight just like this so I won't mess it up.
Yeah.
And I can have it for the next day. But then I realized, I was like, I got to take a shower. Like, I can't leave myself just, like this just so I can have my hair looking like that.
Yeah.
So I took a shower, and obviously it's gone now.
Yeah.
But I loved looking like that because it just looked nice. But
So
it won't ever stay like that. Yeah, and that's what I thought. I looked all around this morning for gel, and I was like,
I have a tube gel if you want it, because I can't use gel. It doesn't work.
yeah, I'll take it.
My hair's
but like that's like my hair is like super impressionable, and whenever it looks a certain way, I love it how the way it looks, but it won't ever last, and I know that. So I try and like.
I get that too.
I try and preserve it or whatever.
I think everybody has that at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I feel like some people like try and like
exactly.
capture it. But yeah, okay, so back to what I was saying. So I think that yes, I would say yes to that question that I asked myself. I would say yes. Because even the influencers that I watch, like Cody Ko, Ryan Trahan, I mean even PewDiePie, like they're all I would say generally attractive people. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean that in a gay way. I mean that in like a reasonable way. Because like they take care of themselves. They're genuinely attractive people.
People can tell when you're attractive or not.
I'm not like that much of like I'm fucking straight that I can't like admit when another guy's good looking guy. Especially Cody Ko. No, but like they're all generally good looking people. Right. So like would I not watch them if they didn't look as good or like appealed to like my level of like, yeah, I think it looks good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Plus they take care of themselves. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. And also for me and like and I'm not trying to bag on Zach or Will here, but Zach and Will
again, you're name dropping.
No, and Zach and Will, they're completely okay with this, and I know it for a fact. And because I know it too. And I know that I'm
careful, dude. 3 people are going to see this video.
No,
you, me, and Zach.
And I know for a fact that I'm not the best looking guy out there or whatever.
I would beg to differ.
Zach, Will, and I are all like the kind of guys that are just like okay with their appearance or whatever. Like there's nothing, like obviously I can't change my face and like how it looks, but I make the best of what I have.
Well, if you get curve stomped, you will.
But
you might have ducked behind the mic. I hope you didn't. That was good. We'll have to key in on that.
But anyway, so but Zach and Will, like they genuinely don't care about like their physical appearance to the point where it's like, oh my gosh, I have to look good. Like I have to. It's to the point where like, yeah, I need to look good, but I don't. Like it's
not a priority.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Which, and I completely agree with.
But neither one of them are like totally bad looking guys. Like I don't think any of the 4 of us. I don't think any of us are like generally bad looking. That's what
I was, I guess, trying to get to. Is that we're not bad looking guys. We're just to the point where it's like,
because if I can be honest with you,
we don't feel the need to have to do something like that.
I don't think I've ever met a person that is like truly, and this is going to sound like, oh, bullshit. But I don't think I've ever met, and I'm not trying to be all like white knight or whatever, I don't think I've ever met a guy or girl that is like objectively an ugly person. It all is based on whether or not you take care of yourself.
I think I've definitely seen somebody that's ugly, like genuinely an ugly person I've never met,
I'm saying I've never seen or met a person that is like, I view it as like, you're actually an ugly piece of shit, kill yourself.
No, not like that. Like I would just say. But
I'm saying the main factor.
I mean, like that's not my type of kind of person.
Yeah, but like they're not like, oh, you know, I've never met someone like that. It's always been like, you're a good looking person or a good looking guy, gal, or whatever. You just don't take care of yourself.
You can see the features of somebody between.
You can tell when someone takes care of themselves when they spend that extra 2 minutes in the morning,
exactly,
or when they don't.
Yeah, because like
some people are just fucking great looking. And some people have to try a little bit harder.
For me, like I could look like a piece of shit all day, every day. If I really wanted to, I could look like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But like obviously, I have.
You don't want to.
I have my nice jawline. I got like I got like the all this kind of going on here. But like I show that off. I try my best to show this off. Because I know it's not the worst.
Whether you like dick in your ass or not, we all want to look good.
Right.
And I truly feel like I've never met anyone that's like, you are ugly and you will always be ugly. It's always just, you don't really take care of yourself. Depending on how you
take care of yourself.
Yeah.
It's a good question.
Something to think about. And then this will be my last one, then we can get to the personality test. And this is kind of a weird one. Again, I'm not trying to be a white knight, but do you know Ariana Grande's song, is God is a Woman?
Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking about that. What if, it would make most sense, to me, at least, if God was a woman. Because a woman can bear a child. And, like, that just kind of makes perfect sense, right? Because in some way of, like, the human race, the woman would be the creator, right?
And for me...
Every guy out there is like, no!
Yeah, women...
I'm not fucking...
Women belong in the kitchen. No, I'm just kidding. No,
you're
but,
not.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
But, for me, obviously I'm not familiar with the fact of how women feel about motherhood, or about how they feel about bearing a child or taking care of a child. I feel like it's a very important job for a mother to have a child and to bear it and take care of it. Because, like, that's one of the hardest jobs out there. Yeah. But...
besides being a sniper.
Right, yeah. You mentioned that before.
Yep. I stand by that.
But...
Fight me, moms.
But for some reason...
We're going to get a fucking email.
Yeah, honestly.
We're going to get an email.
What the fuck is this kind of bullshit? We peaked the mic so bad.
Coffee slurping motherfuckers.
The fuck did you just say about moms? No, but I feel like, and for men, like being a father is like important to me.
Yeah.
Like I want to be a father, and I feel the need to have a offspring.
But do you think it would make the most sense? Like, I guess scientifically and logically. Oh, you don't?
No.
Really?
I think God was a man.
Really?
100%.
Why?
Because of that fatherhood. God had a son named Jesus, and he saved the human race.
Right. Well,
that was a father and son.
Supposedly.
Yeah. Supposedly, if everything went to plan, according to what happened, it was a father and son.
Until her song came out, I'd never really, like, thought about it. It's always been, like, God's a guy, you know, right? But, like, hearing her say it, now I'm not saying that God is a woman or a man, Don't really give a shit, to be honest with you. It could be a fucking elephant for all I care, okay? It's a
Buddhism.
deer. It's one deer.
Just sitting there, it's like eating grass all the
I've
time.
created everything. But as much sense as... Because I do get... A father is... That's a lot of... I mean, families are totally broken when fathers die or when they leave and stuff like that. And obviously the same with a mother. But, like, a father is an important part of a child's, development, right?
And
100%.
I feel like if since a father is such an important part, it plays like a huge and major role in the offspring's life.
And I can definitely see that as like God being a guy. But at the same time, I've never really looked at that side of like, what if God was a woman? That would kind of make just as much sense to me.
Right. I feel like rather than putting a label on God and saying that he was a certain type of gender, I feel like just saying like that God is like an entity, and like he's just there, and like he's just, or it is just there.
Mm-hmm.
That would be
like
that would make the most sense. Yeah.
It's like Ego from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Like that would make the most sense to me.
I think so.
As just saying like he's like it's an entity.
Gender neutral.
Yeah. Just like it is an entity that has created life. You know what I mean?
But do you know what I'm saying? Like it makes just as much sense to me somewhat that God could be a woman.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I do agree that would be the most logical one of just it being an entity. It's just gender doesn't even apply to God.
Because obviously they have created life.
So what the fuck does it matter?
Right.
He created
the genders. So how does he define whether or not he is who he is or she is who he is?
Me.
But yeah, I do agree with that. I think it would just be... I see your point of view, 100%. I could see how that could go either way.
I've just never thought about that.
With a mother or a father, but I think that, honestly, it could just be an entity. Mm-hmm. And it would be the same.
But you think, if not an entity, you think it would make more sense as a father?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're wrong. No. I do get that, because a man is traditionally more of, like, the leader of a household.
Right.
But then again, it's always, talk to your mother.
Right, exactly.
Everybody fears mom until dad gets home. God's up there laughing. What the fuck are you two talking about?
You guys keeping something from me, huh? What are you guys doing?
The fuck are you two doing? You gay-ass podcast. You guys have 3 listeners.
Get out of here.
God comes in. He
smashes us with his dick.
It's like that thing from the Marvel comics, that giant snake, but like it wraps around a planet and kills it. It's just God's dick.
It's like the thing from that Hell movie.
What?
Hellboy? No, the Hell movie where it was like Seth Rogen.
Oh, this is the end?
Yeah, this is the end. Yeah, the giant demon with the fucking huge-ass dick.
Do you want to do the personality test?
Yeah, sure, let's do it.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
Yeah. Okay, so this is what I'm thinking, okay? So we're going to compare and contrast. So let me see yours really quick. Okay.
How long is yours?
So... Okay, so you just have like a time... Wow, you have a really small...
Well, you can read more.
Okay, so do you have like different categories?
Yeah. I've got self-sufficient, intelligent, strategic, like the different stuff.
Okay, so for mine, I have the introduction, strengths and weaknesses, romantic relationships, friendships...
Do you have characteristics? Is that like a thing for you? We're trying to do the personality.
Okay, I can do strengths and weaknesses. I feel like that would be characteristics.
Okay, and I can just go through these bullet points, and we can just kind of...
Okay, so yeah, advocate strengths.
So this is the personality portion of the podcast?
The personality portion, where we're going to be...
If you are shorter than 5'3", get the
out.
fuck out. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
We're not kidding.
So I have taken the test already, and I have come out to be an advocate. Actually, I'm gonna read the...
Wait, that's like your title, advocate? Yeah. Okay, mine is the mastermind.
Okay,
so that's actually really cool. I guess I'm big and blue.
You got a big head. Okay, so I'm gonna read a little bit of my introduction, and then I'll go into like the strengths and weaknesses and like my attributes or whatever.
Okay, so, yeah, we could do that.
Yeah,
Or... Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so... Here's like the first like little paragraph or whatever. Like
I'm just gonna read the bullet points. So do whatever you want.
Okay, so it says the advocate personality type is very rare, making up less than 1% of the population, but they nonetheless leave their mark on the world. Advocates have an inborn sense of idealism and morality, but what sets them apart is what they are not to idle dreamers, but people capable of taking concrete steps to realize their goals and make of a lasting positive impact. They tend to see others helping others as their purpose in life, but while people with their personality type can be found engaging rescue efforts and doing charity work, their real passion is to get to the heart of the issue so that people need not to be rescued at all. So you can kind of
selfless.
tell.
You're pretty
Extremely
you're
selfless. I put
Look at you, fucking saint.
Yeah, well,
I will say this,
and
from
that's
my
not actually
introduction,
being a saint.
totally fucking different.
Yeah.
Because I'm a heartless fucker.
Well, do you have an introduction?
I do. I
Okay,
found
well
it.
then read it.
Okay, so this is, it said so basically like my tag or whatever is INTG, which is introvert, intuitive thinking judgment. That's like my tag. And then obviously my title is the mastermind.
Mine
like,
is actually really similar. Mine is INFJT.
Okay, what is it? Stand for?
Introvert.
Yeah, mine's introverted.
I don't remember. Is there a way that I can look at that?
Because mine is introverted, intuitive, thinking judgment, which makes perfect sense because I'm kind of an ass. But I also think a lot. Trying to kill the awkward
I don't know
silence.
how I would be able to see this, but you read yours and I'll see if I can find it.
Okay, so my introduction is the introverted, intuitive, thinking, judgment, whatever. So basically my interest in dealing with the world to make decisions, express judgments, and put everything that they encounter into an understandable and rational system. Consequently, they are quick to express judgments. I'd say that's pretty solid on me.
Yeah, because
I'm pretty judgmental.
Right.
I wouldn't say anything to your face. It's more of just like, I wouldn't say an aggressive judgment of like, oh, he's dirty, burn him. No, it's more of just like, I noticed that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Honey, I noticed you put your hair up.
Okay, so mine stands for introverted, intuitive, feeling, and judging.
And that's where we're different.
Yeah.
Because
It's
mine is
feeling.
thinking.
Yeah.
So, was there a question in yours? Because in my questionnaire, it was, do you think with your head or your heart?
Yeah, and I answered my heart.
And I answered my head.
Yeah,
Does that make
okay,
sense?
so
Because I'm more logical than you. You're
Right.
more emotional.
Right.
Fucking pansy.
Queer.
Great, now we're getting an email from moms
Sorry,
and the LGBTQ community.
Okay. All right. So let me read.
Dan Reynolds is like the activist for the LGBT community, so we're fucked.
Wait, this is Dan Reynolds, right?
Yeah, that's Dan. That's the homie Dan.
Okay, so let me read my bullet points here.
Okay,
So it
sure.
says-
Yeah, you go. Go ahead and go first.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Hey,
go
look,
first.
look. Okay, sure. Get it?
Oh, I get it. Okay.
Got him. It was a pop up and it said okay, sure. So I clicked it.
Okay.
Hey,
So
if I can't slurp, you can't clap or speak into the mic. That close.
okay. Okay, so it says creative, combining a vivid imagination with a strong sense of compassion, advocacy. Jesus Christ. Are you okay?
I breathed in water.
Okay, fine. If you're gonna choke and die that bad, if you can't slurp, then just slurp, motherfucker. Okay, good job. Okay, so these are my strengths here. So it says creative, combining a vivid imagination with a combining a vivid imagination. Combining a vivid imagination with a strong sense of compassion, advocates use their creativity to resolve not technical challenges but human ones. And then I have insightful, seeing through dishonesty and distinguish motives. Advocates step past manipulation and sales tactics and into a more honest discussion. And then I have inspiring and convincing, speaking in human terms, not technically. Advocates have a fluid, inspirational, writing style that appeals to the inner idealists in their audiences.
That was a fucking ordeal.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, decisive, determined, and passionate, altruistic. These strengths are used for good. Advocates have strong beliefs and take the actions that they do not need to because they are trying to advance themselves, but because they are trying to advance an idea that they truly believe in, they will make the world a better place.
Kind of. Because when you make an advancement, you don't do it for you, but you don't really do it for an idea.
Yeah, I do it
you
for
do it for another.
others.
So kind of.
Well, I could say
The idea of making someone feel better.
yeah, exactly, or the idea of
Buckets.
somebody else.
Yeah. I'd say that's pretty solid on
Yeah.
there.
All right, now let's hear your strengths.
Okay, I have like 6 bullet points, and then there's like a bunch of paragraphs that are just like kind of random. But I'm just gonna read the bullet points because I don't really have a good reason. I'm just gonna read the bullet points. Okay, so my characteristics are able to absorb extremely complex theoretical material, Supreme strategies, who are logical, rational, and future-oriented. Strong insights and intuitions, which they truly... trust implicity. Okay. Values knowledge and efficiency. Very high standards for performance, which they apply to themselves most strongly. Reserved and detached from others, and bored with mundane routine. God, it sounds like a fucking robot.
I mean, honestly.
But that's kind of how I live.
That's how you live. It's scary how, like, accurate these things can be.
Yeah, because that last one's pretty good. Reserved and detached from others and bored with mundane routine. That's pretty fucking spot on. Because I fucking hate everyone. But, like, that's kind of what we talked about last episode. The fact that I distance myself from so many people all the time and just want to be alone. But at the same time, I put myself out there and I make content for those people.
Right.
Isn't that weird?
Mm-hmm.
Because I love the idea of, like, me making someone laugh. I don't want to be around you.
Right.
But then again, like, at social events, stuff like that.
Social events?
I go to a couple social events. I don't mind being in a group. Like, I have no fear of public speaking. In fact, I enjoy it. Whether I'm speaking to, like, 5 people in a group or, like, 100 people at, like, a school
And I think we
thing.
talked about this at one point. The one-on-one conversations can be extremely scary and very awkward because it's you against one other person at that moment. And all the attention from them is on you.
Yeah.
All your attention is on them. But I can get why you say that public speaking is more of your style because you have an attention span to everyone there, and everyone has an attention span to you.
I get what you're saying. That's not really how I think, though. This is how I think of it. And this is how I operate my videos and stuff like that. So I am an awkward person. I would say so. Some people would disagree.
Yeah,
I would disagree with them. Okay, well, here's why I think that, and this may change your mind. Let me change your mind. Go ahead and sit down. Steven Crowder. Okay, so I'm an awkward person, and when I'm put in an awkward situation, it used to just be, like, awkward, and people would just think I was weird, right? But I've learned to, through me making it awkward, I instantly flip it around and, like, make it funny. And that's how my videos go. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can get what you're saying. If you haven't watched it already, go watch his fleshlight video that we did together, like, last time. Because, like, when you said pocket pussy, and me and you just both sat there and just looked at the camera, that was pretty awkward. And then you just added, like, the
because it's awkward, but there's funny. And that was more of that's more of, like, a literal example.
Right, exactly.
But, like, I'm saying there's even underlined stuff.
Right.
But, yeah, that's how I would view it. So, like, especially a one-on-one, even more so, like, when I'm meeting someone, it is awkward.
Yeah.
It's awkward for me, it's awkward for them, but I've learned to, like, twist around to, like, make myself funny and make myself seem outgoing, even though I'm butt-fuck nervous.
Literally, dude, I figured that out when I was, like, a 10-year-old. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. Because, like, for me, like...
We're good.
Do it close. Oh.
Close.
Um,
This is a dumb fuck.
honestly. Okay.
Dumb fuck. Is it gonna rain? Fuck, I'm sorry.
It got so quiet, and then you just go,
So sorry.
Okay, anyways. But I've learned to do that. So, like, if I'm not feeling good, if I'm not feeling all right, or, like, towards other people, or, like, I feel, like, bad, or I just feel, like, you know, like one of those feelings, I learned how to make myself look presentable to other people.
Yeah.
Like, I've learned how to make myself look happy.
Do you change, like, the way that you normally would present yourself to, like, kind of adapt
Fit
to
the
that?
mood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do that, too.
So, like, if the mood is very serious, or very, you know, like, on the point, then I'm on the point. That's how I am. But if the mood is, like, if I'm being awkward, or, like, I feel awkward in a certain situation that I'm not comfortable in, but everybody else is having fun, I make myself have fun.
Yeah.
Which isn't necessarily a good thing. Because if I feel a certain way, I should probably embrace how I feel instead of embracing something that I don't feel.
It's bad, but at the same time, it's kind of good. Because if you're at an event that you don't like, and you don't want to be there, but you're like, I have to be here.
Yeah, but if you make the best of it, yeah.
Even though you're not really making the best of it because you're forcing it,
right.
At least it isn't, like, obvious that you're, like, pissed
making
off.
The best of
Just
it,
don't go back after that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Making the best of it can go one of two ways, and I always think of it as going the best way possible, but that's not always the case.
Well, I would say
in JL, and I know I get into JL a lot, but it really has changed how I think and like how I do like things a lot.
Getting deep.
But like at the beginning of the
Very
year, everybody was and everybody already knew each other there. Mm-hmm. So me and Zach, and obviously you were there, didn't really know anybody. So it was just like our little friend group. But when you left, it was me and Zach versus like literally everybody else in the classroom. Mm-hmm. And we kind of like were forced to make friends with everybody. And so what I did was I forced myself to be that outgoing person. Yeah. To like go up to somebody and be like, "Hey, dude, what's going on?" Or
because
like,
you don't want
stupid shit.
Have that class at the end of the day that you're like, "Fuck, I don't want to go there." I don't
yeah, exactly. And so I forced myself to be the best.
And that's a situation that you have to be in.
And it worked. It worked. Like I've made really good friends.
You will find it's surprising. You will find friends in places that you just wouldn't normally. You know what I'm saying? Because like normally, I don't think us being from Noblesville and them being from where they are. I mean. They were raised a lot more in, like, harder situations, right? I would say so, because they're, like, inner city people. Right. They're inner city folk. And, like, we're kind of babied here in, like, Noblesville. Because, like, we get, like, the nice shit. Right. But, like, it's good to be able to, like, see kind of, like, okay, their life's a little bit harder than mine.
Yeah, and but, like, you can still relate at a certain level.
Yeah. And I would say, I agree with what you're saying. I found myself in a situation where, and I'm not trying to be racist here, but I've grown up in a pretty white school. I mean, you have two, obviously, same schools. Fairly white schools. So I'm not normally used to being around, like, black culture. But there's been a couple situations here recently and in my life where I find myself in a place where I'm inner city and I'm surrounded by friends of mine that are black or people around me that are black. And I'm not racist, okay? Please do God. But it's a different culture. There's a different vibe. There is.
And it would be the exact same if you were in a culture where there were like, and I'm not trying to be derogatory here, but saying like Mexican people and their culture.
But I've grown up with Mexican people, so I'm like,
that's true. Or
I find Mexicans in weird places and we just become friends. I don't know what it is.
Or Asian people, you know, like their culture.
I'm not really friends with Asians.
Yeah, it's just different culture, and that's how.
But like, I'm not used to like that kind of culture, and like I feel like I had to like act a certain way, but you don't. That's not how it works. Just be yourself and do what you're doing. Now, I do think in my personality, it is natural for me to like be in an awkward situation, me being uncomfortable, but me make it more awkward so that I can make it funny.
Right.
By like addressing the fact like I'm the only fucking white dude here, and then like it's kind of like, oh man, you're fine or whatever, and then you make a joke out of it. So like it's interesting.
But yeah, I think making the best of it is good. Okay, now let me read you my weaknesses.
Hitler was fine in my eyes.
Jeez. Okay, so here are my weaknesses. Yeah.
Are you guys ready? Cool. All right, we go.
Okay, so sensitive. When someone challenges or criticizes advocates' principles,
a sensitive category.
Yeah, or values, they are likely to receive an alarming strong response. People with the advocate personality type are highly vulnerable to criticism and conflict, and questioning their motives in the quickest way to be their bad side. Okay, and then extremely private.
Wait, are you though?
Yeah.
If I were to insult you, it would stick with you?
Well, I mean, it would definitely linger in my mind.
Like a fart.
Yeah, well, okay, so like, there was one time that somebody was like, mentioning like a certain animal. And I'm not quite familiar, I can't recollect the situation or what it was about. But they had said giraffe. And I'm like really
Not a giraffe.
I'm really self-confident around this area.
Self-conscious?
Here. Yeah,
You said self-confident. I was
sorry.
like, wow, okay.
Self-conscious about this area.
Took a turn.
I'm not too fond of the necktie. I don't know why, but it's just not my forte.
It's just an insecurity, yeah.
And I always thought that my
Good thing
neck...
you addressed it to the internet, who's just a calm and accepting group.
So
destroy your ass.
So I always thought, like, I've always had like this long neck, and like it was just like a gross like part of me or whatever, and like I didn't like it. Yeah, I know. And so when they said giraffe or whatever, I like immediately shut down. Like I just like stopped for a second. I was like, they're making fun of me.
System capacity.
They're making fun of me. I just shut down. Like I couldn't talk. I just couldn't anything.
But not a single one of them was thinking, that dude has a long neck.
Right, exactly. They weren't thinking that, but
because they don't see that.
And then that got to me or whatever. So yes, I am very sensitive.
Pussy.
Extremely private.
It's like the personality test starts making fun of you. One of the categories, you like reading it, it's like, okay, sensitive, yeah. And then one of the categories, pussy.
I'm pussy, what the hell? It's just
fucking
like
twat.
It's just like a bunch of spaces and then just says pussy. Okay.
Dot, pussy.
Extremely private. Advocates tend to present themselves as the accumulation of an idea. This is partly because they believe in the idea, but also because advocates are extremely private when it comes to their personal lives. Using this image to keep themselves from having to truly open up, even to close friends, trusting a new friend can be even more challenging for advocates. I'm also a perfectionist.
I am too.
Advocates' personalities are all but defined by their pursuit of ideals, and then always need to have a cause. Advocates' personalities get so caught up in the passion of their pursuits that they of any cumbersome administrative or maintenance work that comes between them and the ideal that they have on the horizon is deeply unwelcome. Advocates like to know what they are talking or that they are taking concrete steps towards their goals, and if routine tasks feel like they are getting in the way, or worse yet, the goal is no goal at all, they feel restless and disappointed. And then I can also burn out easily. Their passion, poor maintenance for routine maintenance, tendency to present themselves as an ideal, and extreme privacy tend to leave advocates with few options for letting off steam. So, like, I keep, like, basically what that's saying is, like, I keep, like, literally everything inside me.
I mean, honestly, that's more of like yes, but, like, that's kind of a guy thing, too.
Right.
Just, like, bottle that shit up.
And I feel like advocate is mostly a guy kind of personality.
So, very, very different personality. We're pretty much complete opposites on that front.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm very analytical, very logical, and you're a fucking pussy.
I just feel, like, way too hard.
But, like, yeah. And, like, to bring in an example, we've had friends where it doesn't work out, right? And, like, they're, no bueno, right? Not good friends. I'm sure you guys have had those experiences, too. You just meet dirtbag people, right? You thought they were good, but they turned out to be no bueno for the Spanish speakers out there.
Hell yeah.
I took Spanish freshman year. Thank you. Okay. And for me, it was just, fuck you, we're done.
Right.
Right? You wrong me, we're gone, right? But for you, it takes longer for you to, like, distance yourself. Because you can't just say, we're done. And
There's something in my brain that says, you can't be that asshole that just says goodbye.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
And for me, I don't think twice. It's just, you're gone. You ate my dog, we're gone. But Luke would be like, well, you ate my dog, but you didn't eat all of it, so.
You left the tail.
Oh, God, that would be worse.
Yeah.
You just find a tail.
Oh.
Puppy, kitty. Do you have another topic?
I mean, do you want to keep talking about the personalities, or?
I mean, I think we've beat, fucked, and shaved the dead horse at this point. Do you have something? You have nothing.
I thought that the personality thing was going to take a little bit of a more logical turn.
We're at 51. We're wrapping it up at this point, right? We're fucking landing. We're Sully. Sully? What is that movie? Right.
What?
I'm gonna land her in the Houston. Oh. What does he say? In the Hudson. I'm gonna put her in the Hudson.
I'm gonna land her in the Houston.
Just somewhere in Houston.
I'm gonna land her in the Houston.
Where you guys at? We're somewhere in Houston. Okay, can you narrow it down? Not a fucking clue.
Not a clue. I don't know where the Houston is.
By the way, he's been sitting on that pillow this whole time. I will say this. Okay. That's not what
you and I have different personalities.
Yeah, like very, very different. Which is, I think that's why we probably can't spend that much time together. Because, like, it kind of overlaps. And you're a lot like my sister. Like, you guys are very, very similar in that emotional state.
I want to hang out with your sister at some point.
Pornhub.
No! Like, just have, like, a dance party or something. Do you remember that one time that we were in the car? Hold you, never ever
anyway, this pissed me off. This is something that you make me uncomfortable. This pissed me off. Do you know the channel? I think it was either, like, Watch Mojo or Screen Rant, one of those, like, channels that, like, does, like, the list or whatever. And this pissed me off because, okay, their title for this video, it was 15 things you either liked or didn't like about Endgame. Something like that. And that pissed me off.
Oh, by the way, if you haven't seen Endgame yet, fuck you.
No, just get on it. Just make a list and just do it. Don't fuck you. Anyway. Okay, that pissed me off because, like, why do I need to watch your video for you to tell me what I liked and what I didn't? Why would you make that video? That's so stupid.
There have been, like, little Snapchat stories, like, on Snapchat about that. It's, like, 15 things you didn't notice, or, like, 15 things. Well, I can get that. But, like, 15 things.
Like Easter eggs, stuff like that. But, like, to blatantly have your title be
15 things that you, like, didn't like about.
15 things you either liked or didn't like about any game. Yeah. Why the fuck do I need to watch your video? And this video had, like, 300,000 views. See, that's the whole problem. And we talked about this at the beginning of the episode of, like, the influencers and how much,
People tell you how to feel.
Yeah, and I think that, I mean, even PewDiePie, when the situations he's been in, like when he said the N-word on that live stream, I was watching that live stream, right? And in the moment, didn't think anything of it. I'm like, he's fine, whatever, He's not even American. He wasn't even part of that, right? But, like, those type of stuff, influencers, obviously, they have their own opinions, and you take what you want and, like, what you like, right? And you build your personality from that. Or even your parents, but you leave the bad shit. You should be able to pick and choose. I should not have to watch a video to know what I either liked or did not like about a movie or anything. And I may be blowing this way out of proportion, but I really don't think I am. And I talked about this in the, I don't know if you watched it. Not a lot of people watched it. But it was the video about the N-word pass.
Oh, yes.
And, like, my whole, like, position on that was, like, media giving you these opinions because it's news and because it's high quality and it looks all nice or whatever. You're like, okay, well, it's a reliable source. I should just follow that.
I should need to.
There's no real reliable source out there. There really isn't, because it's all how you
intake something,
yeah.
Not like how other people should tell you how to intake.
I strongly stand by this message of if before you sit down and watch the news with your morning cup of coffee after your morning jerk, or you watch an influencer that you like that's talking about something that's a little bit more controversial, formulate your own fucking opinion. You really have to, because otherwise you're going to be forced into this opinion that you don't really agree with, or you haven't really stepped back and thought about it. Right. Just like I've never really thought about what if God's a woman. Now that's not really doesn't really matter, but like I've never thought about that.
I have trouble formulating my own opinions before I take it to somebody else.
Yeah. Like that's a part of like today because there's so much influence being shoved down our assholes.
Because like I will intake.
I have to make it gross.
I'll intake like a certain situation. Give it here, and I'll like take it and I'll hold on to it, and then I'll like look at it and be like, why do I have this? Mm-hmm. And then I'll be like, explain this for me, and I'll take it to somebody else
argument
before I can like actually take it and just be like, okay, and then give it to somebody. I give it to somebody immediately.
Do you ever get yourself in like a position, and I've gotten myself there before, I don't do it anymore because I've learned to formulate my own opinions, but you get yourself in an argument with either your parents or a friend, and you realize after like, the dust settles or whatever, that's not even, I don't even care. Or, like, I don't even think like that. That's not even, why the fuck would, I've never thought this way.
Right.
Why would I even think about that? And obviously you could flip that to be like, wait, why am I thinking like this? Why don't I think this way? This is a much better way to think. Just like the whole flat earther thing. I can almost see the flat earther thing.
I went through this, like, just recently, and, like, that's, like, personal topics that I don't really want to get to on this, but I do... Is
this when your dick fell off?
Yeah.
My dick fell off. I found it, by the way.
Oh, did you really?
It's not on my bed.
Okay, I'll get that back.
You just equip it. You screw it on like a suppressor. I hope that was out of frame. With the crop in on that.
Like Slinky's back in. Yeah. It's like one of those like keychains. You just
fast forward.
Okay, anyways. So I like went through like the thing of like taking my opinions or my situations to somebody else before formulating it on my own. And I just found out and I just learned how.
You got the email finally?
Yeah.
I've been trying to get them out, but...
To formulate an opinion on my own before I take it to somebody else.
And, like, that's so important, but, like, you don't think about it.
Yeah, I didn't think about it at the beginning. I was like, this is a situation that I really can't handle on my own right now. I don't really understand it that well.
Yeah.
Let's have somebody else do it for me. And then when I sent it off to somebody else, they just gave me their opinion, and I was like, okay, well, that seems right.
Yeah, because it's something you haven't heard before, but it doesn't mean it's right.
Exactly. And then I just wasn't thinking about, like, oh, I should probably take my time and, like, think about it on my own before I give it to somebody else.
It's weird how important it is to think about shit. And I think I don't think I would have thought about it. I don't think I would be who I am if I didn't have that logical side of me. Because if I was always emotional, I would just be like, oh my God, I'll just take that on my own because that feels right. No, I think about it logically. And I'm like, okay, does this make sense? You know what I'm saying? But honestly, seriously, that's so fucking important. Really think about shit before you just adopt it as your own. Especially before you go to someone else and start an argument with them. Right? Because, like, there's stuff that Crowder talks about. Steven Crowder. I mean, you know him. More controversial type guy. But there's stuff that he talks about with, like, abortion or, like, the LGBTQ community. Stuff that he agrees with and stuff that he doesn't. And I watch his videos on that stuff, but never in a fucking million years would I sit down at that desk with him, even if I saw him. I would not sit down with him. I would not, intervene with that because I don't know enough about that, and I haven't really, like, developed how I feel about that kind of stuff. I have a pretty good idea, and I agree with him on pretty much everything he says. there's some stuff with abortion that I'm like kind of more lenient on.
Yeah.
But mainly I agree with his opinions. But I still wouldn't sit down because I wouldn't sit down with someone on the opposing side because I don't really, you know what I'm saying? That's just not my area. And I try and distance myself from that.
And I had this kind of conversation with somebody the other day of, we watched this like documentary in Earth and Space about these gas lords or whatever, and like they're drilling for like natural gas. And what they would do is they would drill like, nice one.
So hard.
Okay, so, but they would like drill near these people's houses or whatever, and they would go off a well to get their own water.
Mm-hmm.
But after they drilled, like in these like circumstances or whatever, in like these areas, their wells would like, they would get water out of like their tap water, and it would be like carbonated because it has natural gas in it and whatnot. Like they would drill so close to them that their like water would have like bubbles in it. Anyways, it was messed up. So the point of the video was that
It's
these
like
corporate...
LaCroix?
What?
LaCroix? What do you call it?
What?
It's like the LA water. And it's carbonated water. It's like, tastes like dick.
LA Lakers?
No, it's LaCroix. Something LaCroix. LaCroix.
But,
fuck you. I don't know.
Anyway, so it was... The video was more about the environment, but it also touched on corporate figureheads and how they monopolize a certain area of the economy to do those types of things with legal permission or whatever. And then like when people say like, oh, my family's being affected by this stuff that you're drilling for and it's into my water now and all that kind of stuff, they can get permission from the government to say, you know, this isn't our fault, something happened, like something else happened, this is natural causes, sorry, but we didn't do it, and then they leave. And they got what they came for. And then those people are just sitting there and they're fucked.
Yeah.
So, and then at the end of the video, I wasn't the person that watched it. I fell asleep. Because I don't really feel the need to watch something like that. It wasn't very important to me. But when I woke up and I was walking out of the classroom, somebody told me, he goes, that's what's wrong with capitalism nowadays. And I was just like, oh, you just insulted America right there. And so I got mad. Like, not necessarily to the point where I was like, but I was just to the point where I was like, okay, let's talk about that. Let's argue.
So you were genuinely pissed off?
I wasn't genuinely pissed off. I was just like,
moderately pissed off?
I'll talk. Like, I'll just argue with
Okay.
Alright,
bitch.
Like, I'll defend my point. I'll defend my country because it works.
You pull out a flag.
And he goes...
I can't stick it because it's tile, but fuck you.
But he goes, I feel that a libertarian socialism economic system would work better
We're getting
in place...
political as fuck here.
Well, not really. This is just economics.
Okay, sure.
He goes, I think that a libertarian socialist economic system would be better in place of capitalism that we have nowadays. And I looked at him and I said, when has that ever worked? Can you give me an example?
See, I don't know enough about this to even talk about
the
so I wouldn't
Soviet Union,
I would expect, sure.
Venezuela, like all these countries that were socialist at one point, they did not turn out very well. Obviously, you can tell that the USSR isn't a thing anymore, and now that their country's democratic and capitalist, they're doing a lot better now. They're holding out for a while. And a good example of a capitalist democracy, I guess, yeah, you could say that, is America. So I was telling him my opinion, you know, and I was like, and I knew enough about it to argue about it with him, and that's my point. And I'm not trying to go into that kind of stuff, but I was just saying, like, yeah, I did, but
you dipped your toe in, but then fell in.
But I dipped my toe into that 55-gallon tub of lube, and then I just went.
But I would say if you feel like what that dude said in your head, you're like, that's wrong, right, and you acted upon it. And I would say that's good, right? That the fact that you had the information to back that up. But if you notice something that someone says that you don't, you're like, I feel like that's wrong, but like you don't know enough about it, swallow your dick and just move on.
Yeah,
don't
definitely.
start, especially if you don't know what you're doing, because they could be right for all you know.
Yeah,
or at least
and
in
like,
your head.
There was this one time when
what is right and wrong?
I don't know. You tell us. Comment down below. No, but there was this.
Yeah, leave comments. I can't stress that enough. Someone say something.
But it was the same person, actually. We had gotten into an argument about something else.
Comments.
I don't know. But I realized halfway through the argument, I thought I was right, but I was actually wrong. And I said, holy crap, you're actually, like, you're right.
Sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, and so I just went, I'm sorry. But
Push that Nirvana.
But you know what I mean. Like, I did realize that I was wrong.
Mhm.
And then I told him, I was like, listen, like...
You're
I kinda
usually
realized-
wrong.
Yeah.
So, that's really nothing to... You're actually a terrible person. I saw that. Like, you think I have peripherals.
Cut it.
Cut it. You got it.
Cut it. Yeah, Jesus!
I think that's going to do for this episode of the podcast. Take what you will from this episode.
Comment down below.
Again, formulate your own opinions before you intervene with someone else's life or how they view it, if that's the best way to put it. You know, before you turn on the news, just, think about shit. It takes a couple of extra seconds, but, like, you're going to be a little bit less
Know the
stress-free
facts.
before you
Know what
eat
you
ass.
want to leave. Or
Know the
believe
facts
in.
before you eat ass.
Does that rhyme?
Good.
Know the facts before you eat
Who am I to
ass.
judge?
I don't... Alright, see you later.